Time for Twins Pod. Yeah. They hold
standards
you
have
to
changed.
a very high standard on SportsCenter. I wonder why they set such a low bar for Joe Biden. that is so crazy.
Did you plan that segue?
No, it just came right off the cuff. As soon as you said that, I was like, they hold you guys to a high standard. We don't hold these same standards for our president.
Yeah, they do, but they don't. They're inconsistent with those standards at ESPN and at networks as well. I mean, look at the industry as a whole. They are lying to your face on almost every network.
You interviewed him, right?
I did.
How did that go?
It was like a month or two after he took over office. So this is 2021, and
they didn't prep questions, like approved questions or anything like that, did they? Because that recently came to light that, hey, you're going to ask these questions and only these questions.
I was given a very specific list of questions.
Yeah, of course. That guy's a dead man walking.
But I don't know if the questions that were scripted to the word. I don't know if they were done by ESPN executives or the White House or a combination. I don't know.
When I look at that man and I hear these stories, I don't think he's running our country. He's definitely not on his Twitter feed.
Yeah.
No, but he hasn't been doing that for years, I don't think. So that day, 3.5 years ago, I was chit-chatting with him before the interview began. It was taped.
Oh, okay.
And it was gonna run on the 6 p.m. Sports Center, which I hosted at the time.
Okay.
And so we taped it a couple hours earlier.
Yeah.
And
So this wasn't live.
no, this was not live. Definitely not. But it was interesting because before it started, you say, hi, nice to meet you, welcome. I do that with everybody. And then I'm like, hi, Mr. President. I'd never done that before. I mean, it was an honor,
Yeah, exactly.
I might not have voted for him, but I was still going to be honored to speak with him.
Yeah.
Right.
And I had a job to do, even though I didn't have much to say about the job I was doing because I had to ask those specific questions. So, but before it started, chit-chat, there were some technical issues. And so I was having to fill time. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to fill time with the commander-in-chief.
Yeah.
Right.
And you could hear him, but they had a black sheet covering the camera, so I couldn't see him until that moment.
Oh, they don't want no hot mics or anything looking crazy.
The mic was hot, but then the camera, they don't need that. So it was weird to be talking to somebody, but then I couldn't see him, but I could see the sheet, the black sheet kind of moving.
Yeah.
And then we started to talk about football. He was, before we started, he's like, yeah, I played football in college. I was like, yeah, I know, at Delaware, right? He's like, yeah. Because I was a wide receiver. I'm like, I know. He's like, I had good hands. And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, that's very helpful as a receiver.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know what to say. Since then, you're like, oh, I'm glad that it was then and not now. You know what I mean? But he was polite. He was fine.
Yeah.
The one question that I had to ask that we didn't have, because we lost time with the technical issues. I didn't have time to follow up. I don't know if I would have been allowed to. I don't know. But it was right before the Major League Baseball game was being taken out of Atlanta, if you recall.
Oh, yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
Because of the racist voter ID laws.
Yeah.
Right.
Because black people aren't smart enough to remember to bring an ID to vote, apparently. Or water, because they'll die.
Yeah,
Right.
Right. But heat stroke in the line.
It's so racist.
Yeah.
So racist. So I said, would you be okay if Major League Baseball decided to move? And he went on about the racist voter laws. And it sucked. I had to sit there quietly because I wanted to, as a woman of color,
As a journalist,
say, tell me what's racist about that.
Yeah.
Please tell me, because it does. We are not smart enough to know what you need to bring to vote. That is the most insulting. Is that me? I'm sorry. I thought I turned this off. No, that's you.
I don't know. I think that might be Joe.
Is that Joe?
Is that the producer's phone?
Joe?
No, sir. Not me.
I'm like, I'm sorry.
Hey,
Probably my mom.
It's next door. You know what, Sage? We had RFK Jr. on here. We asked him about that. And he said, yeah, it really disenfranchised a lot of black people because they don't have IDs. I was like, should these people really be voting in our country if they can't maintain an ID?
What, did you ask him that? Did you follow up? What did he say?
Yeah, he started laughing.
Didn't have an answer.
Yeah.
No, because it's so easy to go along with some of these lies to try to bring in certain voters with that low-hanging fruit. Racist.
Yeah.
Right.
Just stop. I interviewed him too.
Yeah, I
a
saw
couple of
that.
months ago.
Yeah, I saw
and
it.
I enjoyed it. I interviewed his.
I
Nicole
like
Shanahan
him as
well.
a person. He seems like a genuine good guy. But
Yeah, I liked him too.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people said he should have been on that debate stage
Mm-hmm.
in Atlanta. I never thought he should have been, only because I said, no, America needs to see Joe Biden.
right.
And that would have taken away.
Yeah,
You know,
you're
50
absolutely
50,
right.
it would have been 33. And
Mm-hmm.
there wouldn't have been as much focus on Joe Biden. And because I think most of us who have a brain knew there are some issues coming in.
Yeah.
And that would have taken away. So I hope he does get on a stage at some point. I know he got a ton of eyeballs that day doing his own debate, which is very creative.
Right.
The way that they did that for him, because he does have a lot of good ideas and good points. And the fact that they won't give him Secret Service or anything.
That's god awful.
Yeah, it's too bad. But I enjoyed listening to someone with a different viewpoint. We talked about abortion, and that got a little hot.
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought that
Yeah.
was. I thought his response was kind of weird. Like at 9 months, a woman
Yeah.
should be able to have the right to do that. I'm like, at that point, why don't she just have the baby or have a C-section and just
Emergency. See, that's what I said.
yeah, give a fuck?
Well,
Why is it
he just
abortion?
kept pushing. He just said government should never have a say in
But
women's
it-
and I said I understand that. Does that mean up until birth?
Yeah.
He didn't want to answer, and then I said it again,
finally
and
got
then
him to
finally
say
he
it.
said yes, and I was like,
that is weird because my daughter, my firstborn, was premature. She was born at 7.5 months. She could breathe on her own and everything. She was in the hospital maybe 2 weeks, and we took her home at 7.5 months.
that's why it's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely sick and never, ever, ever, ever necessary.
Yeah.
If a woman's life is in danger, what do? You cut that baby out so
Yeah,
fast.
C-section.
An emergency C, they can have a baby out in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
An abortion,
That's
I know.
crazy.
Why don't they recognize that?
no, but they do.
Yeah.
They're choosing to ignore it because most people aren't going to have this basic conversation and be like, wait a minute, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they just say things that that's low-hanging fruit that people say, oh my God, you're right. Just like, oh my
yeah.
God, you're racist.
Yeah, and some women, a lot of women that vote Democratic, they think that empowers them.
Yeah, I don't
some
know
reason.
why. I think there's a lot of, it's deep. It's a lot of history with that. But you go to that abortion topic and it immediately is my body, my choice. And of course, then you go to the vaccine and I'm like, but wait, you're the one that told me I'm a sellout or I'm putting
Right.
your daughter in danger because,
Right.
so listen, there's so much hypocrisy. I will say with that abortion thing that aired on a Wednesday, my show, and then on Friday, he came out with a statement saying, I have since learned
Changed.
that late-term abortions do happen and there should be a limit. And I'm like,
Right.
you knew that before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We have all these red flag laws for people with guns. We have no red flag laws for women. What woman in her right mind will walk in a hospital and say, I changed my mind? At
The
8, 9
problem is
months.
it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Problem is it happens.
that's a detriment on that woman, not the baby.
Well, it says a lot about
Yeah,
that woman. And quite often there's drugs involved,
Right.
Yeah.
abuse involved. I mean, the situations that women are in at times are absolutely devastating. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Right.
And at the same time, that's still a life.
Yeah.
This is how I viewed it. And as a mother of 3, I think I probably would have felt this way anyway. But something in you changes when you go for your first ultrasound upon learning you're pregnant.
Yeah.
And I was like 6 weeks pregnant when I went for my first one, I think. And on that, so this is in 2001. And I'll never forget looking at the monitor to my right and seeing
Yeah.
the 4 chambers of the heart beating.
Yeah.
The nurse said the baby was about the size of a piece of rice.
Yeah.
But there were 4 chambers of a heart beating right there.
Right.
So that is life. I understand there's a lot more that goes into it from there.
Right.
But once you see that, how can you deny that
Yeah.
it is alive? Sometimes we're more concerned about the wildflowers in the median than we are, and the trees, than
Yeah.
we are about what is obviously a life. And your 7.5-month-old daughter, when she
Right.
was born, 7.5 months. So
7.5
so
months.
what? A month and a half premature.
And we were so scared that we're like, I didn't know if she was going to be able to breathe, if she was going to survive. And no, she could breathe and everything.
Yeah, and
They
it's
kept
different
her-
for every person. I understand that, but let's just not deny the facts.
Yeah.
And people just deny it because it's inconvenient.
Yeah.
And
For that narrative.
It's like people just like I know I'm Republican. They might be more often now they're liberal, but you got to stop rooting for your team and just use common sense. You got to go with what's right and what and not what's wrong because you're rooting for your team.
Mm-hmm.
People are so tribalistic, it's like they just forget what's right and wrong.
They vote with their emotions
Mm-hmm.
and peer pressure, for sure.
Right.
I know a lot of people, people that you know that are on TV every single day, who say one thing but believe another, and
Right.
and even vote different ways, actually, but are afraid to say it.
Yeah.
And I get why.
I gotta ask, is it Stephen A. Smith?
No, Steve A pretty much puts his
He's being attacked because the BET Awards they celebrated O.J. Simpson. So black people's attacking him, right? Have you came across that yet?
What?
Yeah, Stephen A's got a podcast, and we don't have to
does.
really, and the BET Awards celebrated O.J. Simpson. And he had some words for that. It's like, that's not a bad look. You shouldn't be celebrating a man who got away with murder.
Double murder.
Yeah. That's just common sense. It's
Who celebrates O.J. Simpson?
BET
BET.
Awards.
Just stop it.
And he was only black when he was going through court. That's the only time he
Walked around and claimed he was black, but
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't.
You know what? To paint something.
I didn't know that. I will say
He's been
I've
attacked over that.
Stephen A's been attacked over criticizing BET. That's what you're saying?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, good on Stephen A for doing it. Hopefully he doesn't retract.
Right.
Because he has retracted on other things, other criticisms. Hope he doesn't
Right.
retract this one because it's
Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with him because sometimes I'm like, man, you're right, and you're right, and then all of a sudden he just goes total left. I'm like, what happened? It's like I don't know if he's
well,
like.
I think I think it's good if you're looking at each issue and not just going all right or all
Right.
left. I think that's important.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just very inconsistent when some of the issues actually are similar.
That's what drives me crazy, the inconsistency.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I get that. I agree. I agree. I think I will say he's brilliant.
I think he's very intelligent.
Very
He's brilliant.
smart, such a
and-
hard worker.
And for him to get where he got from where he's from, you got to be an objective person.
Yeah.
Sometimes in my heart, I feel like he's not being objective. He has
should ask to have
people.
him
He
on.
has. Yeah, I should. Yeah.
You should. You should. It'd be interesting. I mean, he goes on Fox News. He goes on with
Right.
Hannity, and he likes a lot of those conservative guys. It's funny they let him do all that,
Yeah.
and then like Sage Steele. So, but sorry.
Yeah.
But he also, listen. He again, he's such a hard worker. He
Yeah.
does so much.
Yeah.
I miss things like that. You know, especially at the NBA Finals, I would have him on my show every day on SportsCenter because it was always on the road. And sometimes we forget the camera's there, and you just are listening and you're talking, and I'd be like, "What did you just say about Draymond Green? What?" Like we'd argue, and it was fun.
Right.
And but I will say it's also been nice. Like I didn't know how much of an escape I needed, a break I needed from sports, everything. So for 28 years, that was my career. 28 years, it was like every statistic and just go crazy on it.
Right.
And now I'm like, the first full NBA game I watched this year,
Oh, really?
Game 7, Pacers Knicks Eastern Conference semis.
Oh,
Game
really?
se-
I
like,
gave up NBA a long time.
But a lot of people have, but that was my life. I used to come here to Vegas,
used to love watching
Summer
NBA.
League. I mean, this
Yeah.
was my thing, and I loved it all. And now, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I still love a lot of the people,
Yeah.
but the product is not.
There's so I mean, it's just that term woke. I mean, we throw it around so much. It went so woke during the Black Lives Matter riots and
Yeah.
the
That's when I
George
turned
Floyd.
the TV
That's
off.
when I turned it off, and it's like I can't watch it because I'm supporting people who are like literally will vote for the left side. I think is eventually going to destroy this country.
They're trying.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job of it. And most of the people that speak up in the NBA, I don't think are fully aware of the topics and
Yeah.
are fully educated on what they're saying.
Right.
As I say, get all the facts, put your emotions aside,
That's the hard part.
and then state your opinion. But when you give your opinion based on some talking point that someone else told you or on Twitter or Instagram, then you're going to go, you lose me.
You know what I think would help the black community when it comes to being objective? If everybody went blind and you just heard both sides, you couldn't see if the other person was black or white. You just heard their ideas. there's no way they would be Democrats. There is no way. I mean, they wouldn't support all these policies like transgenderism and competing against women in sports. And you hear these laws about you can't vote unless you voter ID laws are racist. It's like it doesn't make any sense. And these people are not stupid, but they believe it because it comes from a Democrat. It comes from another black person's mouth, and that's why they believe it.
It's that race card too. It's very powerful over black people.
If somebody besides Donald Trump was saying what Donald Trump is saying, they'd love him.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if he was black.
I think honestly, I think so. If it was anyone else's name besides Trump's in there, but he's saying what he's saying. Not everything, but on the major issues, especially when it comes to the border and national security and Ukraine and China and North Korea and are you kidding me?
But it really hurts Trump though. He's go overboard. Like I watched Rihanna in the Super Bowl. Amazing performance. She was pregnant. She was pregnant. I couldn't have did that. I'd have passed out on those scalpels. I'd have failed to my death. Trump goes to Twitter. That was the worst performance I've ever seen in my life. I was like, come on. You didn't have to do that. But they've been beefing for years. Yeah, him and Rihanna.
It's so funny. And he just, I mean, he can't help it. And I know the people around him sometimes are like, oh, please don't. He will not listen. Yeah, he does not care.
Yeah. Right.
Part of me loves that because he has not changed. He won't change.
Right.
Look, everybody, inflation is out of control, and this problem's only going to get worse. That's why me and Kevin are always diversifying our assets. That's the kind of diversity, equity, and inclusion we like.
Yeah.
The value of silver, gold has been steadily rising, while the value of the American dollar has been falling. Because what? Inflation. Because our government sucks. Now, y'all, purplebar.com is changing the game, making it easy for all of us to protect our financial futures. Look how cool these gold and silver bars are. Patriotic engraving on there, too. Look real nice. The bars are perforated so they can easily break apart and can be conveniently exchanged if the dollar collapses. Go to purplebar.com and use promo code Hodgetwins and you get 5% off gold bars. And you get 10% off silver bars. Yeah.